I'm Robert D, your favorite OG. Welcome to my channel where truth is told and lies are exposed. Let's get to it. Papa Trump. Shout out to President Trump, man. Best president in American history. Will go down as the best president in American history. Sign him up for the Nobel Peace Prize. He gets all the accolades. Well deserved. So Trump pardons NBA young boy and Larry Hoover. Okay. Now, full disclosure, I have no idea who NBA YoungBoy is, but there are many within the community who are happy about it. So, hey, you can't be mad about that, right? So, congratulations to NBA YoungBoy on gaining your freedom. Trump has once again shown love to the black community, right? And Larry Hoover. Now, the king, the boss of the GD Nation, right? So let me say this. Congratulations, Larry Hoover, but he just commuted his federal sentence, but now he has time to do in the state of Illinois, right? Totally different system. And to be honest with you, I don't know. Maybe you should ask Larry Hoover how he feel about it, because you know, one the federal system is different from the state system, but I'm sure he'd rather be back in Illinois. So there's the pros and the cons to that, but he's this much closer to being able to see the streets again. So I'm sure he'll take that part in any day. Now I do want to say this. Uh, since I did my 14 years in the federal system, and I got sentenced in 1994, and so my first penitentiary was Terre Haute, Indiana, USP. Now during that time, the federal government, the FBI, they were bringing RICO charges on the GD Nation, right? So a lot of GDs were coming into the system around the same time that I came into the system, okay? And the way prison politics work in a federal prison, because they send you anywhere in the continental United States to wherever they have a federal prison at. And so, with that being the case, uh, uh, we were all allies. Chicago, Detroit, Ohio, all Midwest. We call it a car. So the Midwest car, we all took care of one another. Watched out for each other. No matter what penitentiary you went to, you had allies within that particular prison. Right. That's just the way prison politics work. It helps for support, for protection if you need it. Different things like that. Now, for us guys from Detroit, we were known as the Detroit Boys. And one thing about cats from Detroit, we're not gang style related. We had what's called crews, right? And it was ran more like a mafia family than like a gang organization. So you in the crew you have like in my crew growing up, it comprised of mainly just guys within our own neighborhood that we all grew up together and went to school together. And so I think in the little crew that I had growing up, it was about 10 to 12 of us. Consistently. You know what I'm saying? That we all got together and plotted and planned and went out and did our dirty work, right? And so we didn't necessarily have gangs like GDs and Vice Lords and Peace Stones and Crips and Bloods and stuff like that, right? And I got a story I like to tell on that too, right? My first real experience dealing with some Crips from California, like some real Crips, right? Is when I was just first got into the federal system, right? And then I was coming across like real gang bangers from California, and I had just only saw them on movies like Colors and stuff like that. But when you really meet these cats in real life, yeah, they be the real deal, right? So that's a whole nother story. So being in prison, being from Detroit, so my car was us Detroit cats for sure, and then the larger car as a whole will consist of guys from Detroit, guys from Chicago, and then we Ohio guys, Cleveland, Cincinnati, stuff like that. They were like our adopted kids, right? But hey, they get it in too down in Ohio, right? So did not take nothing away from them. Okay, so all together as a whole, we was the Midwest car, right, in the system, and well respected. And so when it came to the GDs, they were our allies, right? Now we didn't operate under the folks nation, so they didn't have no say so over how we ran our car, being from Detroit. But whenever there was smoke or or something like that, we always had each other back, right? So shout out to the GDs, Folk Nation. Mad love from Detroit. Us Detroit boys always was, and I'm sure it's still like that to this day. And so for Larry Hoover getting that pardon, I really like that coming from Trump because I know he's the boss, and he's got still has a lot of influence and respect to this day, and and uh, and I know he'll be able to have some say so on a lot of the foolishness that's going on in the streets. So I like that. I like that move from President Trump, pardoning Larry Hoover. Even though he's going to the Illinois state system, he'll actually have a little bit more. I don't want to say control, but a little bit more influence from being that close to home. You understand what I'm saying? The feds, they kind of really got a headlock on you as far as being able to reach the outside world. So he'll have a little bit more freedom to have some say so about how the nation is being ran and operated in Chicago. And I know he'll have some influence on being able to get a handle on a lot of them young boys that's just out there wilding out, right, without any type of control. And here we go once again with my dog Sam. So I swear but I can't just look because he'll sit here and just look. Here you go. Come on, man. I think he just want to. Let me close this gate. But yeah. So all right. So anyway, yeah. Shout out to Larry Hoover, man. Did your time like a G. And so yeah, man. Mad respect to the King, King Hoover, and GD Nation. And yeah. And I just want to throw this out there real quick. I was in Beaumont in the same unit when the war between GDs and DC, the DC boys, Washington DC boys, when that war started in the whole federal system, it jumped off at almost every penitentiary in the feds. But that war started in my unit, and so yeah, that was something. I'll never forget that. We were locked down. We were locked down almost a month behind that. A bunch of people got stabbed. It went down, right? And it started in Beaumont, and then once got spread to the other penitentiaries throughout the system, GDs and DC, they was going at it. Both of them boys don't play, okay? All right, so next, moving on, right? What did I have here? Hold on, I got my little list. TDS, Trump derangement syndrome, is well known as TDS, right? The Trump derangement syndrome is at its all-time high, right? It's amazing to sit back and watch these people. All it is just Trump, Trump, Trump. That's all they have, and it's like even their own party, even within the Democrats, it's such a split within their own party because the radical left has just taken over mainstream Democrats, right? And then the way they have set up that party, they can't say nothing about nothing to each other. They want one side of the Democrats want to call out the left for the foolishness, but then they're so woke that they can't. So it's funny to watch them devour themselves, right, as they should, because that's a demonic party. But the TDS is at its all time high because that's all they have. And if you notice, all they do is they don't have no policy. They don't have no policy because us Americans, we voted and rejected everything they had to offer. We reject transgenderism. We reject just abortion on demand. We reject want to push this in schools to kids. We reject this open borders, just let everybody come in. That's the whole policy, right? Instead of the Democrats going back to the drawing board and like they say, coming to the middle and changing up, they can't do that because they're so heavily invested into what's going on that the Trump derangement syndrome is out of control. So all they have is to attack Trump on everything. Like they say, if Trump was to say the sky is blue, oh no, it's not. Okay, you know what I'm saying. If Trump was to come out here and say, well, cancer is bad. Oh no, it's not. So anything Trump do, all they got, it's just a party of hate. It's a party of division. and how anybody could still consciously be backing a party that has shown itself to be liars, to be deceivers, to be anti-American and everything, and they push, they fight harder for illegal immigrants than they do for Americans. Somebody make sense to me. These are elected officials in Congress fighting harder for illegal immigrants than they do for its own citizens. And for the record, illegal immigrants aren't entitled to due process. That's for citizens. I only have a GED, and I know that. So when they get to talking about all these illegal immigrants, where is their due process? They have none. Why should they get due process? They're illegal immigrants. They came into this country illegally. Round them up and ship them out. That's it. That's it, and that's all. We round them up, ship them out. There is no due process. Okay? All right, so moving on. The Supreme Court ended deportation protection for illegals. Thank you. Can somebody explain to me how President Trump, who we elected in the office, did to round these illegals up and ship them out of this country, right? How some judge in Frisco or Chicago or wherever one of these liberal blue states, how some federal judge can just sign a piece of paper and block the president of the United States. Will somebody please explain how did that even happen? How can one judge have more power than the president of the United States? That baffles my mind right there. And every time President Trump does something that we voted for him to do, one of these leftist judges signs an order to suspend it, right? Okay, well, thank God for the Supreme Court, right, who overruled a federal judge's decision to block Trump, right? So the deportation order for protection for illegals, it has been removed. So now we can ship them out, right? Round them up, ship them out, right? And so my point on that is that I don't understand how these leftist judges can just override the president of the United States. I understand the Supreme Court having that kind of power, and they should. Checks and balances, right? But just some regular judge sitting on the bench in Frisco somewhere, no, we need to look into that. We need to change that. And if you notice, when Biden was president, or whoever was running the show, and Biden was just a puppet, right? While they was lying to us, we telling us not to believe our lying eyes. We saw the man falling upstairs, falling off of bikes, stumbling over his word, getting lost. Yeah, we visually saw this, but they was telling us it was a deep fake. No, these people have been lying. It's the biggest cover up in United States history, and we will not let this thing go because that's what the Democrats been doing. They've been lying and deceiving. How can people still support this party, right? Please, somebody answer that. So yeah, that's been removed. So thank you, President Trump. Carry on, good sir. And last but not least, Jess Hilarious from the Breakfast Club. She came out and stood on business about these trans women running around trying to make everybody believe that they real women. The delusion is real. No, you are a man dressed up like a woman. Okay, I don't care how many times you said. So apparently, Jess Hilarious, she got fed up. Because she's like, well, where's our rights as being real women? I'm with you. Now, I don't watch the Breakfast Club. I don't personally like Charlemagne because he was all in for Kamala, right? And then once she lost, he trying to backpedal and flip-flop. I don't like that. I don't like that. You can't trust nobody like that. He just followed the bag. Okay, so stay in your lane, Charlemagne. You was with Kamala all the way till they lost. You stay over there, sir. We don't do the flip-flop game around here. You picked the losing horse. You gotta stay with that. But Jess Hilarious. So I appreciate you standing on business and for you to have such a platform and to be so visible and to come out and say what everybody want to say. And I know you say it with your chest because you don't give a damn. And I like that about you. I like that about you because I know you're going to catch some backlash, but you for all the smoke, right? And so I can respect that all day, every day. I don't watch the show. I don't care to, but I definitely can respect somebody who stand on business when it comes to this trans community. They're a bunch of perverts and weirdos. A man can't be a woman can't be a man. Okay? You ain't gonna trick me into that. I'm gonna call it out what it is. You are a man dressed up pretending to be a woman. Plain and simple. You can take a pig and put a lipstick on it, it's still a pig. Okay? We're gonna stop all this insanity that the Democratic Party been pushing for so long, man. And please, if you are a Bible-loving Christian, Jesus-loving, God-fearing man, woman, and you've been voting for the Democrats, you are either a fake and a fraud, or you are blind and deceived. Because there is no way under God's heaven and green earth that a Christian, an authentic Christian, can say, you know what? Yeah, I'm okay with abortion. Yeah, I'm okay with people pretending to be different sexes. Yeah, I'm okay with teaching kids that they could be little girls and little boys. Yeah, I'm okay with open board. That's not your. If you believe that and you say you're a Christian, I'm gonna call you a liar to your face. All right, so that's it and that's all. Thank you for watching and have a nice day.